At roughly 4.4 billion Jamaican dollars, the Portmore Resilience Park is one of the largest public development projects currently underway in the country. The idea is simple: create a modern, eco-friendly, multi-purpose space for recreation, sports, and community activity in the heart of Portmore. But with such a huge amount of money being spent, and with so many other national priorities still demanding attention, the question naturally arises: is it worth it? Let's start with what exactly is being built. The Portmore Resilience Park covers more than 20 acres of land in St. Catherine. It's designed as a full-scale recreational complex, with walking and jogging trails, sports courts, multi-purpose indoor centers for netball, volleyball, and badminton, children's play zones, outdoor fitness areas, and event spaces. The plan also includes commercial areas, allowing local businesses and vendors to operate legally and profitably inside the park. This isn't just a few benches and trees. It's a modern civic space meant to redefine what a public park looks like in Jamaica. What makes it stand out even more is that the park is being built with sustainability in mind. Solar panels will help power parts of the facility, rainwater harvesting systems will help manage water usage, and drought-tolerant plants will be used for landscaping. Electric vehicle charging stations are also part of the plan. The goal is to make it not only a beautiful place to relax, but also a symbol of Jamaica's growing awareness around green infrastructure and environmental responsibility. In a country that regularly faces droughts and flooding, this kind of design signals a shift toward climate-smart public development. Now, how is all this being paid for? The government has confirmed that the entire project is funded through the national budget, meaning taxpayer money. There are no foreign loans, no external debt being taken on for this project. That's rare, and many people see that as a positive thing. It means Jamaica is paying for it directly from its own resources, rather than borrowing and adding to the national debt. But that also means those billions come out of funds that could have gone to other needs: education, healthcare, housing, or road repair. So while the no-loan aspect is a good sign for fiscal independence, it also makes it worth examining how wisely that money is being allocated. From the government's point of view, this park is a long-term investment in people. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has repeatedly talked about the importance of creating public spaces that promote health, safety, and social unity. For a growing city like Portmore, which is on track to become Jamaica's 15th parish, this park is meant to be its signature feature. The project fits into a broader vision of transforming Portmore into a modern urban center, not just a bedroom community for Kingston, but a self-contained city with its own social and cultural identity. According to official statements, the park is expected to create hundreds of jobs during construction and dozens of permanent positions once it's fully operational. The construction phase employs builders, electricians, landscapers, and suppliers. Then, once it's open, there will be maintenance crews, security, administrative staff, and vendors working within the space. So, in that sense, it's not just a park, it's a small ecosystem of local employment and business opportunity. The inclusion of commercial zones within the park is also strategic. It means the park won't depend entirely on government funding for upkeep. Rent from shops or event spaces can help offset maintenance costs over time. Beyond economics, the government argues that the social benefits are just as valuable. Public spaces like this can improve community well-being in ways that are hard to measure in dollars. They provide safe, open areas for families, children, and the elderly. They encourage physical activity, reduce stress, and create a sense of belonging. For Portmore, a densely populated area with limited green space, the impact could be significant. The design also takes into account Jamaica's changing climate. Portmore, built largely on reclaimed land and low-lying areas, faces constant flood risk. A properly designed park with natural drainage, vegetation, and retention systems can actually help manage stormwater more effectively than concrete surfaces. In that sense, the park is not just for leisure, it's part of the city's resilience strategy. That's where the name Resilience Park comes from. It's built to withstand and adapt to environmental challenges. Still, not everyone is convinced. There are concerns about whether the money could have been better spent elsewhere. Critics argue that while parks are nice, the country still struggles with more basic needs. There are also concerns about maintenance. Jamaica has a history of big, beautiful public projects that later fall into disrepair because there isn't enough funding or management to sustain them. A park of this size will need constant care: landscaping, security, lighting, cleaning, and waste management. If those things aren't properly budgeted and enforced, the park could quickly deteriorate. Another valid concern is usage. How many people will actually use it regularly? Will it truly serve all residents, or mainly those who live nearby or have easy transport access? There's a risk that a high-end park can end up underused if the surrounding infrastructure doesn't support consistent public access. If transportation, safety, and community involvement aren't prioritized, even the best facilities can fall short of their potential. However, it's also worth looking at the bigger picture. Jamaica cities, especially Portmore, have grown fast, but often without enough green open spaces. Many communities are built around traffic and concrete. The psychological and social cost of that is rarely discussed. Studies around the world show that public parks improve community behavior, lower crime rates, and strengthen neighborhood identity. They make cities more livable, especially for children and the elderly. From that perspective, the park is more of a needed correction to how Jamaica's urban planning has developed over the years. When you look at the scale of the national budget, the park's cost, while large, isn't impossible to justify. It's a one-time capital expense meant to serve tens of thousands of people for decades. The potential benefits are both tangible and intangible. Tangible in the form of jobs, business opportunities, and tourism. Intangible in the form of pride, community health, and mental well-being. Those intangible benefits, while harder to calculate, can be just as important to a nation's development. It also sends a message about self-reliance. Jamaica isn't waiting for international aid or private investors to build something for its citizens. It's using its own public funds to create a facility that everyone can enjoy. That kind of decision reflects a sense of national confidence, an understanding that not every investment has to yield direct profit. Some investments are about creating public value and improving daily life. Of course, the success of the park will depend on how it's managed once it opens. Maintenance and community engagement are everything. If the government ensures that it remains clean, secure, and well-supervised, it could easily become one of Jamaica's most beloved public spaces. But if oversight slips, or if the park becomes neglected after the cameras leave, the criticism will only grow louder. The key will be setting up a proper management structure, one that involves the community, local businesses, and the Portmore Municipal Council in active collaboration. To keep the park sustainable, a portion of the commercial income should ideally be reinvested directly into its upkeep. Vendors, food stalls, and event organizers can help generate ongoing revenue. A Friends of the Park program involving local volunteers and schools could also help with community care and awareness. These small measures can make the difference between a project that fades and one that thrives for generations. There's also the opportunity for the park to become a cultural venue. Outdoor concerts, art fairs, and heritage events could draw people from across the island. If managed creatively, it could become not just a local space, but a national attraction, a showcase of what Jamaica can do when it focuses on modern, sustainable, and inclusive development. And that could inspire similar projects in other towns and cities. In a sense, the Portmore Resilience Park represents more than its physical space. It's a statement about Jamaica's direction. After years of focusing on debt reduction, austerity, and macroeconomic stabilization, the country is now turning toward quality-of-life investments. Building something beautiful, practical, and environmentally responsible signals that progress isn't just about GDP growth. It's about how citizens live, how communities connect, and how the environment is treated. So, is it worth it? That depends on what happens next. If the park opens and becomes a vibrant community hub that promotes wellness, business, and environmental education, then yes, it will be worth every cent. If it's maintained with pride, kept clean, and protected from misuse, it could easily become one of the most meaningful public projects in Jamaica's recent history. But if it's poorly managed, or if it falls into neglect after the cameras leave, the criticism will only grow louder. For now, what we can say is this: Jamaica's trying something ambitious. Building a massive, taxpayer-funded park in a fast-growing city is a bold move. It's a bet on the future, a bet that Jamaicans deserve high-quality public spaces just as much as good roads and hospitals. It's a bet that investing in beauty, health, and leisure is not a waste, but a step toward national pride and well-being. Whether that bet pays off depends on all of us, on how much we use it, how much we respect it, and how well we hold leaders accountable for maintaining it. The Portmore Resilience Park might not fix every problem Jamaica faces, but it has the potential to show that development can be about more than economics. It can be about quality of life. It can be about the kind of country we want to build, one that values green spaces, public access, and the simple right to enjoy where we live. In the end, maybe that's what makes it worth it.